Hello everybody and welcome to AW Cleaning Services. So a short video, I hope it's going to be short anyway. This is a video aimed at the new starter within the water-fed pole window cleaning industry. So you may think about buying a van, getting a tank, getting a pump, getting a controller, then looking at leisure batteries. So talking of leisure batteries and power sources to power your window cleaning water-fed pole pump controller. Also your pump will be in line with that as well. So this is a handy video just to show really about the battery and its connections, as battery connections are of the utmost importance when dealing with 12 volt batteries because of their high current and also their high amperage. So what I'll do is I'll bring in some training aids. So talking about batteries and people that may have never dealt with car batteries, leisure batteries before, unsure on wiring and how to go about wiring. So training aids I've made based upon things I've seen. I have seen people with their pump controllers and their pumps wired on batteries on various types of cable, flex, whatever you want to call it, and all they've done simply is twisted two circles in the end of the cable to slop over the battery, and all they've done is wedged the cable under the battery to apply tension to keep these taut. That's not good, it's not safe. If you're doing that, you need to give yourself a slap around the head really, because all you're going to do is burn your van down pretty quickly. So that's one training aid we'll remove. I have seen it done that way. I'm sure many others of you have seen people rig batteries in that form of connection before. The other gripe I have are with people that use crocodile clips. Crocodile clips are a temporary connection. That's why they're sprung, and you don't need any tools to affix them to the battery because they are temporary. And if you're using these in a vehicle, these actually came out of a van system that I finding a problem on for a guy who kept getting shorts and didn't know where it came from. So he was using this. Really, it's a good cross section of copper speaker wire. However, on inspection, when he had gone to strip the figure of 8 cable, break it down to 2 separate conductors, he had actually sliced it with a Stanley knife. It's gone straight through the sheathing, and they're both the same place, and they were touching together and arcing, and he said, oh, the wires are getting quite warm. So again, crocodile clips. You see these on vehicles, they don't fit correctly, they're not tight, so you haven't got that cross section or the amount of surface material in connection with the battery post at one point. It's very irregular, doesn't fit correctly. You look at other types of connectors, again, no matter what you do, they are sloppy, they don't fit correctly. You see people have them on the top of the batteries like this, they get in the van, they pop it, and it flies off, and they lose the connection. So when we're talking about cross-section, surface area, this is a round battery post. You've got to ensure that it's clean as well. So this is a round post, and naturally you've got an oval hole. So these are designed with clamping force. You pop these onto your battery, but you can actually see daylight through certain sides of them because they're never any good. You might have the smaller type, the larger the style where they've got teeth embedded into them, which are meant to grip the battery more. However, those teeth are creating more resistance because there's a thinner point of connection. So you're putting these on, again, not the tightest connections in the world. I most certainly wouldn't use them, and I know a lot of people that do, and I have rectified problems with vans where they've had problems with these not working, or the wiring's loose inside because they haven't soldered them, because they don't know how to solder, so they've twisted it onto the end. And then they've also then used insulation tape just to keep that twist they put in there tighter, as these are. So that's my biggest gripe. Crocodile clips, temporary use only. anything that's designed to be used permanently, you will either install with a tool, or you can actually get quick connectors, which are a compression style clamp. They come in red and blue. You put them on, you squeeze them down, and that compresses them tight and locks them onto the battery. So if you're using these, doesn't matter how many years you've used them for, you've taken a shortcut because you're lazy, basically. So crocodile clips, absolute garbage. There are many types of battery connectors available for the leisure battery market and also the caravan and camping world. Both of which of these, for example, which are the only ones I have spare to show for this video, and for the purposes of this video I will be talking about these. Very good quality. These are steel or stainless, and these are brass. However, they are a full circular diameter. They also are almost conical or tapered, so they fit the post of a battery, because a battery post isn't a round cylindrical tube. It's actually almost a tapered push-on fit. So again, both of these are very good because they do highlight the polarity with the coloured rings and coloured wing nuts, so you can't go wrong. If you do go wrong and you don't use these, or you have crocodile clips, just bring those back into shot, and you've got these in your van. You get it in your van, for example, you pull your sky vac out, or you pull out a set of ladders and you knock them off, you rip them off, and you get a bit flustered, you put them back on. Just quickly, you've got your polarity wrong. If you've got an older style water-fed pole pump controller, you've just blown the diodes in it because it wasn't polarity protected, and you've cost yourself £98 plus VAT. So good quality, sturdy, reliable, made battery connectors which are not temporary because they need a tool to tighten them into place. So I've done another quick demonstration. So these are the ones that are available. I have used these. I've got lots of these because they are very reliable. So we put these onto the battery. We don't just leave them on the battery, we tighten them up. So with these, make sure they're pushed down all the way. You shouldn't ever have to force anything with a hammer because you're just going to damage your battery. Also clean your battery contacts with some emery paper or a small wire brush or brass brush, just to ensure you've removed any scale, because you will get it. So you ensure that these are tight, not tight where you've sheared the actual post off the battery and you can't pull them off. So we put these on. These are 13mm nuts, 1/2 inch, for any of the old guys out there, like myself. So these are on, they're nice and tight, they're not coming off. I could pick the battery up by those if I needed to. So for this, we have wing nuts. So bringing in another training aid, again, because they're wing nuts, you don't just wrap the wire around them loosely and casually and tighten them up, because it's not good enough. Again, you're not clamping that correctly. They are loose and you can't pull them out, and you will damage your equipment as well. So for this video, this is the way that I have done installs for people and helped guys out that have had problems, and we've rectified it and given them some half decent equipment. So cable flex, it's always good to use a cable or a flex with a good cross section. The Spring Europe Limited pump controllers, that come with their wiring kits, that is the grade of cable that you need to be using. For this video, I'm using very, very thick, good quality speaker wire, which is brass, and it's exactly the same cross section as the Spring Europe Limited cable kits. So again, we have ring terminals. My personal habit, I use an awful lot of heat shrink. It works as an abrasive resistance, and it also adds a bit more protection, because with batteries, electrolysis, dissimilar materials, you do get galvanic corrosion, which you may have noticed if your van battery has got connections on there that are made out of copper, some are brass. You may find that you've got green, almost looks like rust and cream forming. That's galvanic corrosion. That's a dissimilar metal breaking down and working against each other with electrolysis. So ring terminal denoted its polarity with red, positive on the heat shrink. This is battery post positive as well. That sits on there nicely. So you put it upside down, it clears the face. I've also got a washer to allow a better clamping force and also conductivity, because I'm not relying solely on the wing nut that has been powder coated. So we put that on. Really hand tight. That's not going anywhere. Same again on the other side, negative. I have seen people ask about earth wires and things, and people getting worried about ringing electricians to do van installs for. It's 12 volts and there's a few hundred amps. 12 volts isn't going to electrocute you, and it's not going to make you dance around the bedroom when you fried your hands, because 12 volts it's not possible. So you don't have to contact an electrician that's down the road and he's going to charge you £50 an hour to do something you can do yourself. Very straightforward. It's always time to learn, always time to improve upon your knowledge and your abilities. So once you've connected that, that would be the last thing you do. And you've also then, you've got your pump controller. But the main important thing on the end of this battery cable is a inline maxi blade fuse, 7.5 amps, which is a brown fuse. That will protect my Spring Europe Limited pump controller, which then goes on to the pump and protects that, and then you just connect that way. But always ensuring you have a good connection, you have the correct polarity. That means positive to positive, negative to negative. You shouldn't have any problems that way. But you need to make sure also that you use a fuse. If you don't, and you have a problem, you will either damage your equipment, or whatever run of cable you have to your battery, it will just heat up like a hot wire, a long melt, and there's a chance of causing a fire as well. These terminals are exactly the same in theory. However, you'd connect the ring terminal to the inside of the nut by taking it off, putting it back on. So say that's on your van floor, it's wired in. Very good tip to invest in a leisure battery box or enclosure. Or if you look on Amazon, all the usual scumbags, trolling motor box or leisure battery box, always cover it, because if you don't cover your battery and something falls over in your van and you arc your battery out either with a spanner or a ladder, you're going to cause a fire. You know, it's a nasty thing when you arc out a battery, because you can fuse wires to it. It could stick, it could spark, and it could start a fire. So always cover your battery, either by making a little wooden box for it, having an old window cleaning bucket that fits over, or you know, an old cheap bread bin from the charity shop, which in this case fits straight over the battery. There's place for the cable, and that's protected the battery from any impacts or falls. So I hope that video helps. It also gives you a good tool to understanding the use of correct battery terminals, etc., because using the wrong ones could cause a fire. So I hope that helps. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, because it helps my channel out massively, and it gives me the ability to make more videos to help you guys out. And I'm not profiting from anything on YouTube, so it's just an honest, you know, this is a video I've made. I'm not getting any money for it, but my time has been given to help others. Hope that helps. See you again soon. Bye bye.